Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand opening ceremony of the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center here in Philadelphia on the campus of Drexel University. I'm Dent Wilkens, Senior Vice President of Operations at U.S. Squash, and I'd like to introduce my guest host, Linda Elriani. Linda, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here in this wonderful center.
So we're in this amazing backdrop, as you can see here at the Specter Center. I'm lucky to have Linda, who's a true legend of squash, both worldwide and in the U.S. So Linda is a former world number 3, has played over 100 times for England, representing her country, and is now the director of squash in Brooklyn at the Heights Casino. So nice to have someone of your squash pedigree here to actually share this night with us. And what's your impression of your first time here in the center?
It's such an amazing center. There's so much color. Even though it's a large center, it just feels cozy. You can feel it's going to be a community center, but you can feel there's always a sense of community as you walk in. Obviously, there's so many courts. The glass courts are amazing. I love all the color. I mean, look at this amazing color on the ceiling. I mean, it's visually amazing. And I wish I could be a junior again and play here, or pro again and play here, you know?
Well, even though you're not, you're still welcome to come and play here. That's the whole idea of the Specter Center. So we'd love you to come down and play. So just to give everyone a little bit of an idea of what we're doing here tonight, we've got the grand opening ceremony, which will formally begin just after 5:30 here, which we'll cut to live. Linda and I are going to do a pre-show. We've got a couple of special guests who will be coming in to join us, and we'll love to hear from them. So the Specter Center has 20 squash courts and is located in a federally designated promise zone, one of 22 across the country, which is designed to provide economic development to underserved communities. And the Specter Center is perfectly centered and positioned to do that. So without further ado, I'd like to invite someone up who's a big part of the organization and a big part of getting us to this point. So I'd like to welcome Sue Venkatesan, our board chair of U.S. Squash.
Great.
Hi, Sue.
Hi there. Hi, Dent.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Linda.
So we're so happy to see you. I asked the same question of Linda, but it's been a long road to get here. Just what's your impression starting off tonight?
I am humbled. This is incredible, amazing. This project is a decade in the making, and we're here today, and it's just the beginning. So, it's right now. It's a moment to celebrate. Take a breath, exhale. It's been a long road, as you said, but this is just a milestone. It's not the destination, and we're really looking forward to the future and using this as a springboard for the future of our sport.
I mean, I know as a staff we're excited about this. Is our kind of the platform, right? Yes. We've built it, and now it's time to jump off it. So we're extremely excited. In that vein, can you talk a little bit about the impact that a center like this and community centers nationwide? Yeah. So this, as many people might know, is part of the U.S. Squash Community Affiliate Network, which is like-minded facilities providing broad access and mixed programming nationwide. Yep. What sort of impact can the Specter Center and other community affiliate partners have on the sport and on the organization around the country?
First, can I mention that this is also the new headquarters for U.S. Squash?
Of course.
It is our home for Team USA. So this was always a part of the vision for this national center. But what has been incredible about the journey is how the mission has evolved of this center to become the world's largest community squash center. And in particular, I think what you've just described, it is a partner and an anchor within a network of mission-aligned partners that are really seeking to grow the sport, to integrate our community, we all know, as squash players, we all know how amazing our sport is, and we want more people to benefit from it and see that. And this is our opportunity, coast to coast, to really have partners who are driving growth of the sport by introducing it to new players. We're global and diverse, and we want to raise that to the next level here.
Great. I was saying to someone the other day when I walked in, I think 2 or 3 days ago, the pros were beginning to practice on the glass court for the U.S. Open presented by Truist that we're doing right now. But right next door on the court was a new public middle school team that's starting up, one of 10 middle and high school teams from the Philly School District that will be playing here for the first time this year. And a bunch of kids here doing a community clinic for the first time and learning the sport. Right. So to see the number 2 player in the world right next door to kids learning it for the first time was a really special moment. Yeah. So I think it shows exactly what you're talking about.
Well, Linda, you talked about the space, and we were chatting that it's bold, it's big, but it's really intimate.
Yeah.
And so from that perspective, that community, having a world-class athletes playing against people playing the sport for the first time, that is remarkable about our sport. Our sport has that community at the heart, and now we get to scale it through our community squash affiliate program. That to me is what's exciting. U.S. Squash didn't come up with the community squash concept or movement. The community did. But our role is to take what is the best out there that people are doing and to help scale that. So that's truly exciting.
Perfect.
The last thing I want to say is this is about inspiring the next generation of players. And what you just described, having side by side in the courts, I walked in and it is so inspiring.
So Sue, I know there are a couple hundred people here who want to meet you in the grand opening or say hi. So we're going to let you go, but thank you so much for stopping by and enjoy the grand opening.
And thank you all for all of your hard work. It's what people don't know is something like this is a long road, and there's a lot of challenges along the way. And we've just had such an amazing team here to execute on this.
Sue.
So thank you all of you.
Perfect.
All right.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
So Linda, you're at the head of an amazing facility that has so much activity between tournaments, junior squash, adult squash, everything that's going on. You of all people understand what the power of a facility can do, basically in bringing people together. So can you give me a sense, this is really your first day here, but just feeling the energy in the space of what this will mean for running events, for bringing people together, for developing new players, like it's got to be pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, to have this many courts under one roof, I mean, where I work, we have split venues. So we have 4 courts in one and 2 in another, and that causes some challenges. So to have all these courts under one roof and be able to have all sorts of different events and activities going on, and it almost makes the mind boggle how many different things you could do. It's endless, really.
Absolutely, and we're lucky to be in a really diverse and dynamic neighborhood. Our goal was never to build a national center in a field somewhere, and we were really fortunate through our partnership with Drexel University to be able, which has been a part of the U.S. Open since 2011, when we've been literally across the street at the Daskalakis Athletics Center, at the Arlen Specter Squash Center, running the U.S. Open. To be in our own place in a space that was made possible through that partnership, we're really lucky. So we want to be a part of the neighborhood, and we're just starting.
No, you definitely are. To be able to walk around here is amazing.
Perfect. So I'd like to bring someone else, as we wanted to start about national teams. I said that you've played for England for many, many years. I won't say how many years, but you were at the top of the game forever. And we've got an up-and-coming player from the U.S. that we'd like to bring in and have you learn a little bit about the programs that are going on here.
Yeah,
so Shahajan Khan, please join us.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hi, Shah. Your jacket's putting us to shame a little bit, but otherwise, thank you for coming. So, Shah, you're an up-and-coming player from the U.S., just reached number 40 in the world, and have taken over now as the top U.S. male player in the world rankings. So, number 1, congratulations, and thanks so much for coming tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for being here.
Perfect.
Thanks.
So I hear that you've been training here a lot.
Yeah, I've been training here a lot. I was here before the British Open. I trained with Dengi, and he's doing his strength training and all. And I felt really great after that. I'm having a good season so far.
Good. Well, you must have with your highest ranking.
Yeah.
And I understand that there are lots of international players that come through on their way to other tournaments and they stop off. So have you had the chance to hit with some other international players as well while they're here?
Yes, always. Even before the U.S. Open, a lot of players were here. I got ahead with them before the tournament. It's a good exposure for all the U.S. players. To have the presence of the top players, learn from them. Get the experience, what they're doing, how they play, how they practice, what they do, on a regular basis.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
And do you think that's really helped you to get to where you are now, having that extra exposure, your top ranking that you've got at the moment?
Yes, I think it's as you've been in the tour for so many longs, you're a legend. Those small things affects us a lot.
Yeah.
The small improvements, if you just work on it, it's a big change. Yeah.
So, you know, one, as an organization, we're so excited about Team USA right now, and you know, normally you're all traveling around the world, which obviously you are still, but just being able to come in and see you training in the morning, in the afternoon, and night, and having the group, it adds an amazing energy to the space. And we know it's hard work for you, but it's actually really enjoyable for all of us. So your pain out there is a lot of fun for us, even though you're working so hard. So
Thank you.
Can you tell us just briefly, you know, how this adds to basically the fun of being a pro? You know, it's sometimes a lonely life to a certain extent, traveling the world, you're on flights all the time, playing tournaments, you know, in any different place. And obviously it's been a tough last 18 months, but it must feel it's kind of an uplifting moment to be basically coming back to the sport and then having this as a resource.
Yeah, I think it's for all the US players, you know, like it's big uplifting for us, you know, like during the pandemic, everyone was like down, you know, like if the tour is going to come back, you know, like struggling with where to play, with the facility and all. But after coming here, like it's a big change for us, like uplifted, like motivated us more, you know, to play more, to get to the next level. And having this facility is it's really like a lucky for us. It's a blessing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And
Well,
sorry.
sorry to cut you off, but we're kicking Shah out because it's a fast-moving evening. He's got squash to play, and we've got a grand opening to get to. But Shah, thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it. And yeah, congrats on reaching your high ranking, and we know you're going to keep moving up. So good luck.
Nice to meet you
Good luck
guys.
for your
Take care.
future
Bye-bye.
tournaments.
Thank you.
So Linda, just expanding on that, I mean, squash in the U.S. at the top level, not just at the growth we're talking about, but for our players that are playing at the highest levels around the world, they're really on a positive trajectory. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, as someone who's been at the top of the game before, what you're seeing going on with squash in the U.S. and Team USA and their success on the world stage?
Yeah, I mean, squash in this country has grown exponentially since I've been here. I've been here with my husband Laurent for the last 15 years. And yeah, squash is growing in every department, in the juniors, in the pros, and we have so many. And being a woman, I'm obviously extra proud of the women that you've got in the pro game. I think there's 4 in the top 25, I think is correct, with Amanda just getting the number 3 spot in the world. I mean, how incredible is that? Yep. And I wouldn't be surprised if she gets to number 1 in the near future, honestly, with the way she's playing. And you know, coming from a country like England, where I started playing squash when squash was in its boom, it sort of, you can feed off of that. They're all going to inspire each other, push each other, and it just sort of builds. There's layers, it builds and builds, and it's just going to keep inspiring, I think, more and more people to go pro even, because you have so many great players in this country that don't necessarily go pro. I think this could actually inspire some of them to go to college, but then go pro afterwards, and know that there's a great facility for them to train at, and they've got somewhere they can come with like-minded people, and you can all do it together, and then just build up from there. So I think it's amazing. I
mean, the facilities here, to summarize for people who haven't been able to been through the building yet, so we just hired Ong Bang Hee as the Ganek family U.S. Squash head national coach.
Yeah.
Him, along with our director of national teams, Adam Hamill, do an exceptional job. All the athletes here, we have dedicated physio space, Team USA locker rooms, treatment centers, great physio work. So just a place where they can come and wake up every day worrying about how they're going to be their best, along with the support that we provide through the High Performance Program, which is direct financial support to athletes and resources to help them be at their best. We want them to wake up in the morning and say, how am I going to get better at squash today? And they're certainly doing that.
Oh yeah, you're giving them everything they could possibly need. Normally, players will be going all over the place.
So I want to move it along so we keep moving, and we have a special guest who's able to join us tonight, which we're really excited about. So we'd like to actually welcome up Congressman Conor Lamb. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for coming. I mean, this is your first time obviously here at the Specter Center for the grand opening. We're really excited you're here. Just give us your impressions of the space off the bat.
I got to say I'm blown away. I went to school for 7 years next door to here, so I sort of remember what this building was like, and I mean what you guys have done to the place it's just such a tribute to this organization, and as someone that represents this state in politics, I have to say I'm honored that you put your headquarters here and do this with a building like this. It's great.
Perfect.
And what do you think, obviously it's an amazing community centre, what do you think the impact will be on Philadelphia and the surrounding areas having this centre here?
You know what I think the biggest impact is going to be is I take it that Philadelphia was already known as an important capital for squash in the United States, like an important city. But what we've all been looking at over the last year especially is there's so many opportunities for so few, and so many Philadelphians or kids around here might not get those same opportunities. And so the fact that this place is dedicated to engagement and access with the broader community. I think they told me you're going to start the first ever public school league for squash here in Philadelphia, which is incredible. I mean, that could change a kid's life. Just the ability to spend time in a building as modern and impressive as this could light up a kid's entire future, improve their health and well-being and outlook, you know, toward what they're going to do with their life beyond the game of squash.
Yeah. It's
just a huge open door for kids that really need it, and that's what I'm excited about. And this is part of a federal promise zone here in Philadelphia that Senator Specter created for this purpose, to try to give more opportunities to kids. And so getting to see that come to fruition is really exciting for people like us.
Yeah.
Well, and you're right, we are starting the first public high school league, and with 10 new teams that'll start this year, and we see that not as the end, but really the beginning for it. Nothing adds energy to a facility than a bunch of middle schoolers and high schoolers being around, right. So we can't wait to have them. Well, we know you've got a lot of people to see downstairs, and we're honored to have you here at the grand opening, so we'll let you go, but thank you so much for
I hope
stopping
someone will
by.
just teach me how to play while I'm down there. I must admit, I have some catching up to do.
Do one clinic, and then Linda was world number 3, so you can get out there with her on the
Good,
side.
okay, go easy on me, go easy on me, that's all I ask. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too,
Thank you so much, Congressman. So, you know, we're excited about, we've talked a lot about the juniors. Fun part for us here with this type of court capacity and with the community squash model is making sure the squash is accessible for all ages. So we just don't want to see the kids coming in from those schools. We want to see their parents here, their grandparents here, trying out different versions of the game, participating in leagues, just doing it for fun and a way to stay healthy. So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
So we now have another special guest. They're all special, so we're going to keep them coming. So we'd like to welcome up U.S. Squash President and CEO Kevin Klipstein. Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
So, Kevin, we know it's been a slow and easy run up to opening a small little place like this. So you look amazingly rested somehow after rolling into this. But tell us about kind of the excitement leading into the grand opening tonight.
Well, I'm exhausted and I'm inspired. I mean, it's great to have people here. It's great to have the energy here. Reality is, I kind of thought by opening this, we'd sort of feel done, and to a degree, it's just the starting line, I think, for the sport. And that's, to me, is what's inspiring and exhilarating, is to say, look, we now have a foundation from which to build, and we can show people how to make this happen in their communities. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the squash community, because I think people want to see the sport grow and thrive.
I think for us, you know, we haven't been able to do this alone. It's such a massive project. I know on our end as a staff and as a board, we're so grateful for all the partners and supporters who have made this possible. I mean, maybe a few words about just the amount of hands it takes to actually make this amazing place come to life.
Well, any project of this scale takes literally hundreds, potentially thousands of people. You've got hundreds of donors who contributed the funds. You have Drexel University sort of 10 years ago take a bit of a risk and saying, hey, we want to partner with you, we'll host the US Open, and then with the partnership flourishing from there, being able to work with us to say, hey, how can we make this work? How can we make this happen? It's just amazing. So Drexel's been fantastic. The people at Drexel are fantastic. The Philadelphia squash community obviously is incredibly strong, right? And they've been amazingly supportive. Squash Smarts has been sort of in from the beginning in terms of their support of what the overall vision is of the center and of how squash can develop as more of a community-based sport into the future. So they've been fantastic. So obviously, the U.S. squash staff over the last 2 years, we've been down. We were furloughed down to 12 people. We're back up to 42 now with this center, and we're looking to make a big impact not only here but nationally as a result.
Great. Well, I know that I think you're going to be leading off the grand opening ceremony, which everyone's going to be able to watch live in about 5 or 10 minutes, and we hope that everyone's going to be able to stick around and watch that. So. It's actually quite a large space, so we're going to give you the time to actually make it to the other end of the facility for the grand opening. But, you know, any closing thoughts that you'd like to share as we kind of leg into the opening here?
Final thoughts, I guess, is thank you guys for hosting. I think this is the first of many things we're going to be hosting. up here in the media center, and want to say, hey Kim, hey Tanner, hey Tegan, I love you. I'll see you soon.
So thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
So I wanted to touch on briefly, Linda, before we bring up our past guest and move towards the grand opening. So, you know, you are obviously a leading teaching professional up in New York in one of the major markets for squash. The sport is growing in a lot of new markets around the country, but we think one of the biggest opportunities is in women's and girls, both in developing women's coaches, which we need a lot more of in the United States in order to bring people up, and to make sure that, just like the Specter Center wants to make everyone feel welcome and a part of the community as we are a part of the broader neighborhood, we want to make sure that women and girls of all ages are really an integral part to the sport and helping being at the forefront of driving it forward. The US Open that we're here at pioneered prize money parity for women and prize funds in 2013, which continues through today. So can you speak a little bit about you know, the impact of deeper integration in women's and girls programming, and you know, what you hope to see at the Specter Center and in squash, you know, more broadly moving forward?
I mean, first of all, I just want to, you said about the prize money, that warms my heart completely, because it wasn't like that when I was playing. This was a while ago. I mean, I don't mean to rub it in, I'm just saying it's so amazing that you've done that now. I think it's so great. And obviously then you force other places to do the same thing. Otherwise they look bad. So thank you first of all for doing that. Yeah, no, I really, really hope that they'll have some programming, especially for the young girls. I mean, we're fortunate enough to have pretty much just as many girls playing squash in Brooklyn as we do young little boys. So I hope that you can manage to do the same thing here with your programming. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what your programming you have planned, but there's so many great little players out there. Hopefully you can get them to a centre like this and they'll be out there playing, and they'll be our future players.
Well, we want to create and support 1,000 Linda Elrianis.
I would love to start playing squash here. Are you kidding? This
around
would be
the country
like a dream.
to grow the game. So
Yeah.
we'd like to bring in one more guest before we wrap and go to the grand opening. So I'm going to invite David Pullman, the Executive Director and Commissioner of the College Squash Association.
Hello.
Hi, David.
How we doing?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So by intro, as I said, you run the College Squash Association, and the college game is one of the most exciting pieces of squash. It's absolutely incredible atmosphere. We're going to be excited to host a lot of college squash play here. But, you know, first, you know, can you imagine the atmosphere of a college squash match in this place?
I mean, we've never played in a space that's this big and this welcoming. Just to have all the people maneuvering around, checking out all the matches, I'm so excited. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere and the perfect place to host some great events in the future.
I mean, I know that at the Specter Center especially, and at like-minded facilities around the country where people have already been doing this work for years, one of our goals is to make sure that there's a broad pipeline of players coming into the sport, and then we bring in a completely diverse set and broad set of backgrounds from races, socioeconomic classes. Everyone who wants to play should be able to get on and play this great sport, and that's what these facilities are doing around the country. Can you say what that means kind of down the line as these kids get older and start entering the college game, what it means for what you're looking to do on the college side?
Sure, we're really proud of the opportunities that we provide, the number of teams and the number of schools that sponsor varsity or club squash on campus. It just continues to grow, the interest continues to grow year over year, and we need those people to come from all backgrounds to continue to play and fill those rosters. And so having facilities like this and all the other ones growing around the country is a huge part of our game and a huge part of our future. So the sustainability and health of college squash is intricately tied with U.S. squash, junior squash, and carrying on to adult squash in the future. And we're really excited to be right in that niche and welcoming as many players as possible.
Awesome.
Exciting.
I mean, it's amazing work. We're so excited to host a couple of the college championships here this year, and hopefully in future years. They bring great energy, and you know, there are, I forget, I think you probably know the number. How many college players were actually playing in the U.S. Open right now?
So I think the number was 18. We had 9 wins in the current or former CSA players.
Amazing.
In the first round yesterday. Four players had byes. So you know, getting 13 former or current college squash players into the second round of the U.S. Open, a platinum event, is just can't say any more for the game.
I mean, just to drive that home, right now there are 64 players, the best 64 players in the world left in the event. 13 of them played college squash in the United States.
That's correct.
It's
Yep.
pretty unbelievable.
Yep.
We're getting now minutes away from the grand opening, so we will let you go, head down there. But thank you for stopping by. Thank you for all the work the College Squash Association is doing. You're a great partner for us, and we're lucky to work with you. So good.
We're lucky to be partners with you as well. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Great.
Appreciate
Have
it.
fun tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you, David. So, Linda, that kind of reaches the end. Any kind of final reactions that you have before we get going and turn it over to the presentation?
I mean, I'm just so excited to see what the future brings with this place, you know. I mean, can you imagine being, I can only imagine being a junior now, playing on these courts. You can watch yourself play on these big screens. You can look back at your matches and learn from them. I mean, everything is so easy for them to have fun, to learn, to watch. I mean, it just doesn't get better than this, honestly. So, yeah.
Perfect. So, do we have a special guest?
Oh,
Perfect. So, Linda, we have one more special guest we're going to
Yay.
there. So, I'd like to invite David Gannock up if he's available. There he is. Hi, David.
Hey, how are you? Dent?
Good. How
Nice
are
to
you?
see you.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
how are you?
Good, thank you. How you doing?
So we were talking earlier about national teams and about the center. You've been so integral to making this possible. We mentioned the Ganek family, U.S. Squash head national coach Ong Bang Hee,
Yeah.
who just started. I mean, what an exciting hire, and
know.
you had a big part of that process. So tell us a little bit about your
Well,
excitement.
we had a torch passing basically when Coach stepped down, and we needed new leadership at this important catalyst and inflection point for U.S. squash, and symbolized by this incredible building.
So you've been such an amazing supporter of the game. What about squash and about what's happening in the U.S. And inspires your family to
Well,
support
I think
what's
it's
going
really, from personal experience in squash. I played squash. My wife played squash. We both played in college, and it's become a big part of our life and at an important time in our life. And it was now that we're no longer playing competitively, it was a way to stay connected to the game and something we care about, and try to really, with the ambition of building an incredible program.
I mean, it's not too late to get back and play competitively. The whole concept
That's
is we're going to be
true.
playing.
Now you're gonna get my wife on my case.
That's good.
Hopefully she won't see it.
Okay, well we can edit you out if
Yeah.
we really need to.
I can handle it.
It'll be fine.
I can handle it.
That's perfect. So, I hopefully you're staying around for the matches tonight. Team
Yeah.
USA is doing amazing stuff right now.
Yeah, this is so exciting. I mean, all of the technology that you guys have, that we have here, those monitors, I mean, has
Yeah.
an incredible feel. I guess we've set a new standard for squash centers globally here.
Definitely.
Yeah. We were talking earlier. This is kind of just the beginning for us.
Yeah.
Now we've done it,
know.
but it just begins at this point. So
it is. It feels like an end, but it's really a beginning.
it's really a beginning. So
Funny crossroads.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your part in making this
Yeah,
possible.
my pleasure, and thanks for asking me to come on, and it was nice to chat with you guys.
Absolutely. We hope you enjoy the grand opening.
I'm
Thank you
looking
so
forward
much.
to it. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
So, as we just said, I mean, I think the best way to wrap it, this is really the prologue to a book, and now we're looking forward to writing the rest of it. We've got an amazing neighborhood that we look forward to learning from. We've got an amazing set of national teams, amazing set of programs that are here, and we're going to export basically this model across the country and learn from models across the country that are working. So we really can't wait. Linda, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, so fun. Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to cut in about 5 minutes to the actual grand opening ceremony, so we hope that everyone stays on the live feed. You're going to be able to watch it, and then Linda, maybe we'll have a little wrap-up moment where you and I can give our impressions afterwards. So
love to.
thank you so much,
Thank you so
Linda.
much, Dave.
We hope that everyone enjoys the grand opening ceremony. Our official motto at the Specter Center is "You Belong," and that really underpins everything of what we do. So for those of you that joined live, thank you so much. You also belong at the Specter Center, and we hope to have you here soon, and we appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.